sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that.
It's the OG edition of Write That Down. Every Wednesday, Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd and the Score North YouTube channel. The only show in America, this and Purple Daily, where we put statistics next to our predictions. You know, those national talking heads out there, they just want you to forget how wrong they are.
Exactly right.
No, we tattoo it on our bodies here on these shows.
Don't always enjoy it. Sometimes it's tough.
You know, it can be an uncomfortable exercise. So we'll get to the accountability session. We will get to the predictions here. But let's talk about MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air here before we do anything else, Judd.
And off of that, let's talk about trust, because trust is incredibly important. In fact, guess what? Trust is important to Sports Dad. And when Sports Dad has a house issue, I've made this clear before, I have no idea how to fix it. So what do? I get a guy or guys or companies that know how to make the fixes. And in this case, MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air can do exactly that. And in fact, they came to my house about 2 weeks ago now. The water heater, the water softener, they were in disarray. But guess what? MSP installed new ones. They've been fantastic. I can trust them. And right now, thanks to our friends at Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store, they are proudly have partnered with MSP for what they are calling the Big Green Egg Giveaway. You can win that beautiful grill by booking a repair. Get $60 off any HVAC or plumbing repair, and you will be entered for a chance to win. The Green Egg has a $1,000 value. Again, thanks to Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Store for that. And for service from MSP, call 651-615-4292 or check out their website, call MSP.com. Call MSP.com because you can trust them. Heck, if I trust them, you should too.
Yeah.
Write this down.
All right, I'm a minute into a Netflix promo here that Adam Schefter just tweeted out. I can't tell if it's a spoof or not. No, okay, here it is. It is a spoof. Oh my. Quarterback season 2. But the Netflix promo started off as, first there was quarterback. Second, there was wide receiver. Now, mascot. And the first 30 seconds of the promo was like mascots running on the field and the dedication it takes. But then they did like a cut, and it was Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff being like mascots. They don't even talk, which transitioned into quarterback season 2 coming out on Netflix this July.
Okay.
And it's going to be Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, again, following his Falcons season.
Well,
and Jared Goff as your 3 quarterbacks. Little breaking news here on the pod.
Interesting.
And that does impact. I think Dex had one from like way back 2 years ago with Joe Burrow and a couple others. So we can account for that maybe next week. But there you go. Quarterback season 2.
The Kirk thing should be intriguing now.
Well, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be super dramatic. I mean, the guy literally had his career upended. And if they follow him from the offseason, I don't know how early they started tracking.
Right.
But it might have been when he hit training camp.
Yeah.
But like they're literally going to go through him getting benched on a $45 million a year contract. So
interesting.
That'll be super fascinating. Okay, here's how Write That Down works. It's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs as our statistics. And listeners, if you want to be like Zach and participate as a guest listener predictor, you can send Declan a note through the Score North app, and we'll get you scheduled. All right, let's start with Judd's accountability here. You had one thing come off the board. You said Nolan Arenado would be a Red Sox by opening day. Doesn't look like that's happened.
I would agree.
He's still a Cardinal.
Very random of me, by the way.
He's healthy, I assume, right? He'll be playing the Twins.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
March 27th.
Opening weekend.
Declan will be there.
Dex will be out there.
I will be there.
All right, I had 2 things come off the board. I thought Woj, in his first year as the general manager of St. Bonaventure basketball, would lead them to the NCAA tournament. They had a good season. They won 20-plus games. They finished 500 in the, Atlantic 10 or whatever the hell conference they play in.
Yep.
But they did not get to the NCAA tournament.
Oh, but look at this.
Yeah, I gave you a 3 or maybe a 4-game parlay. I can't remember, but 3-item parlays are usually considered home runs on this show. I said the Wolves would beat the Nuggets and continue their winning streak to at least 8 games. Little home run there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the Wolves positivity business, and business has been booming, at least until 2 nights ago.
I was going to say till the Pacers game.
Yeah. Okay, listeners, kind of a rough week here. Tim said the Vikings would sign either Marcus Mariota or Mac Jones. Ross said the Twins would acquire Max Meyer, Tyler Anderson, or Blake Snell this offseason. And then Mike said the Twins would sign or re-sign a player for at least $15 million average annual value. Because Bader was $8 million?
Yeah.
Not even
6
that,
million?
right?
6 million?
6,
Yeah.
and there's like
Right
a
there.
buyout or a club option or something in 2026.
We didn't come close to 15
No.
AAV.
We did not.
No. Okay, Declan said the Timberwolves would be at least one full game clear of the play-in by this week's. Write that down.
You know, even if Golden State would have lost yesterday and it would have been a half game, I would have been more pissed. You know, like because Milwaukee played Golden State yesterday. If Milwaukee would have won, Golden State only would have been a half game. Or if go back to Monday. I'm sorry. Yeah, go back to Monday. If that debacle against Indiana doesn't happen, the Wolves could have been only a half game. I would have been more upset if it was just a half game. It would have been a terrible bad beat.
Yeah, I think in either scenario they would have been
Yes.
a half. What the frustrating thing about last night, the Warriors, Steph Curry sat for like emotional health reasons, which whatever, that's great. But then they won the game against the Bucks, who had Giannis and Lillard playing, and then the Clippers are playing the Cavaliers have just been, now they finally had their like month and a half winning streak snapped, but the Clippers just boat raced the Cavs in the second half. So the Wolves are getting zero help from their schedule or from the other opponents. Let's go back here. Sorry. You said neither Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, or Royce Lewis would end up on the injured list at any point in the month of March or April. Royce Lewis confirmed to be missing the first part of the season. Poor guy. So with that, again, we're early here. The season goes from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, so we're just like a month in. But I'm off to a pretty good start. 444 batting average with 2 home runs. Judd at 182, no home runs. Declan, 071, no home runs. Listeners still looking for their first hit on the season. All-time stats, Declan leads with a 344 average. Judd, 320. I'm at 280. Listeners, 264. Listeners have a big lead in the home run category. 70 career home runs. All right. Let's get Zach in here, our guest listener predictor, making his debut. What's going on, Zach?
Not much. Just working from home today.
Rocking the Twins gear. Give us your background as a Minnesota sports fan. How'd you get hooked, and who are your favorite teams?
So basically, I'm from South Dakota, southeast part, and I guess growing up, my mom said, you know, a normal 5-year-old and 6-year-old would probably come home and watch, you know, cartoons all day after school. And I came home and she goes, I might have to check on him because he's watching Sports Center till supper. So, yeah. So I'm basically Twins, Vikings, Timberwolves. Not a big hockey guy, but.
Yeah. I think we all like went through phases because Sports Center ran, you know, the traditional version of it. It was the only way to get highlights in the 90s and early 2000s when I was growing up, and Declan. And it was and Baseball Tonight,
Should have been one of my days.
Yeah, you'd have to
Coming
wait
up
for
next.
ticker tape.
No, you're coming up next on the Late Sports with Tom Ryther. Did the Twins win?
Did the Twins hang on in
Yep.
Oakland last night?
That was my.
Well,
You know what though, Zach? You did the one thing that I regret. I didn't start to follow sports until I was 8. I really wish I had taken a shine to sports at like 4 or 5. Like I missed a lot of things by not like.
what
I
did you
should've followed
really
the
miss
Twins.
in those
The
4
North
years,
Stars,
Judd?
the Twins. I wish I had liked the Twins. I wish I had begged my parents to take me to the Met for a Twins game at like 5.
Well,
Like I missed a 3-year period. I missed the summer of '77.
Oh, that just an
The Twins could
epic
hit
summer.
the ball. Unbelievable. Heisel, Bostock, Carew. I mean, no. Zach's got it right.
well, I guess it just got even better because when I was 8, my dad took me to my first Vikings game, and it just happened to be the playoff game against the Cowboys. where they ran up the score 34-3, I think it was,
Yeah.
with Brett Favre. So
Now
that's
I
right.
feel really old.
well,
Yeah, we're gonna have
Since
to.
I was 39 or 40.
We're gonna have to comb through all the crazy things Judd missed between ages 5
I miss
and
not
8
going to
now.
Met Center. I miss not going to Met Stadium. Like, what was I doing? I liked like cartoons and Star Wars.
That
Why did
sounds
I like
fine,
sci-fi?
too. What's wrong with watching that from ages
Why
like
did I
5
like
to 8?
sci-fi? I don't like sci-fi. Like, who was that? That devil child. Who was that? That kid
I
should
love
have
it,
been
like-
watching the.
People on their deathbed thinking about their regrets in life. You know, the one that got away,
Okay.
the job that they didn't take a risk
No.
on. And for Judd, it's like, man, when I was 6 years old, the North Stars went.
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one. My first, if I had started to follow sports at 5, my first Vikings memory would be the Hail Mary catch on which the Vikings got screwed. So I missed that. And I also barely cared about the last Super Bowl, which I easily could have watched and enjoyed. So yes, I will take to my grave the fact that I was into sci-fi
You know,
as a child.
I wish I could empathize here, but I got hooked on sports as a 4-year-old. I remember specifically playing
Yeah.
indoor
All
baseball
you
with
guys.
the little mini bats.
See?
I remember going to, as a 6-year-old, going to school the next day, like first grade, I think, and going into the classroom with all the Twins 91 World Series newspaper clippings from the night before. So it is, yeah, I think you're going to go to your deathbed with
See?
great torment
I'm the
and
outlier
regret
here.
now. Yeah.
All of you guys did it right, and I did it wrong. Why?
So, anyways, Zach, why don't you give us your first prediction, and then we'll go around the room 3 times, and we'll
Write this down.
put ourselves on the
Alright.
record here.
So I've been digging into the new hitting coach for the Twins because God knows it can only go up from where we were. But so basically, I'll say on a background part, the past 5 years our batting average has just sunk. Granted, with the league it has too, but so I guess write this down. There will be at least 4 Twins players with a 270 plus batting average, minimum 300 plate appearances.
Okay, so we're gonna put the bat on the ball here a little bit more.
Yeah, put it in play, make them make mistakes, pretty much.
Station to station. Let's move the
I
sticks.
love this. I love this idea. Generate some runs, run the bases.
Put some pressure on the defense.
Write that down.
You know, smart way instead of being a bunch of buffoons out there. I like this. Okay, write this down. Royce Lewis will not play in a game for the Twins until May 5th, Cinco de Mayo or later. So
Yeah,
Royce is going to miss the first month. He's going to miss into the first month. We talked about this, I think, with Declan on the Twin Show a couple of days ago. I don't think you're going to bring him back in the cold. So, like, if they're playing at home in May, like if it's still chilly outside. So, May 5th or later will be Royce's debut for 2025.
I don't know. He's a fast healer. That's what I always hear. He's a fast healer.
He's optimistic, and so is Kaprizov. Yeah, they're all optimistic. Everyone's optimistic until they're not playing.
It's kind of crazy in an 18-month stretch where all you've done as an organization is generate increasingly negative thoughts, feelings, publicity from winning that playoff series back in 2 falls ago. And you the ownership change brought a little bit of a spark of optimism, but then Justin Ishbia backs out and now is in line to maybe buy the White Sox. Like literally everything you thought was going to be positive has turned into a negative over the last 18 months for the Twins. But they've always been able to hang on to, hey, if Correa, Royce Lewis, and Byron Buxton all stay healthy, this thing you could win a World Series, right? And that's been true. Like if those 3 guys stay healthy, but then boom, a week and a half before the regular season starts, and even that if of optimism goes out the window. It's just
But they are positive. Like I heal fast. I heal real fast.
yeah. No.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. Actually,
hold on.
Dax, you're up. Go ahead.
Cool. Skip the line.
I'll get this one out first. I'll get a Wolves one out first. Write this down. Jaden McDaniels will have another 2010 game by next week's Write That Down. So he's had like 6 of
2010
these.
machine.
That's probably a given.
Yeah. He'll have another 2010 game by next week's Write That Down.
6 of them since February 1st. Is that The stat
Yeah.
that you gave yesterday, Phil.
All 6 of his career 20-10 games since February 1st. Yeah, it's been what a season, man. And he for a while, I think before January 1st, he was averaging like 10 points a game, and now his season average is up to 13. And so he has become an 18-8 guy who can also play make. He's passing, he's defending.
Write this down.
All right, write this down. Let's make some March Madness predictions here.
Ooh.
Both Patinos will make it to the Sweet 16. So Richard, the 10 seed New Mexico, and then Rick, the 2 seed St. John's. He just went and brought St. John's back to life in the Garden. I think we're going to see both Patinos make it to the Sweet 16. I think that would be Richard's first. He's never been to a Sweet 16 with New Mexico.
Yeah, I don't think
Let's
so.
see. They certainly didn't go to the Sweet 16 when he was here.
No, they won the first round game in Des
First round
Moines
game.
against Louisville, and then they lost to Michigan State, I want to say, in that NCAA tournament.
Yep, and he went. So last year he went to the tournament with New Mexico for the first time, and they got bounced in the first round. So this would be Richard Pitino's first Sweet 16 in his coaching career. Both Patinos to the Sweet 16. Let's go.
Write this down.
All right, Zach, your second prediction.
All right, we're going over the Vikings now. So with young quarterbacks, I like to think there's 2 things you want to do to help them, right? Number 1, you want to run the ball. And number 2, get them a tight end to dump it underneath when they have no clue what's going on. So I don't know. Okay, you might have to clarify if this is a home run or not. But so the past 2 years, we've had a combined 16 touchdowns on the ground for the Vikings. I think next year we're going to have a minimum of 15 rushing touchdowns as a team for the Vikings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that's quantified, right?
Hallelujah.
So 15 or more rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, the single digits thing. It shouldn't be as hard as they've made it to
Wouldn't that
punch
be
one in
nice,
from the
too?
4-yard line.
Wouldn't that be nice? Just red zone, if you're at the 3, wouldn't it be nice to just consistently have Jordan Mason score as opposed to loss of 2, loss of 1, gain 1, kick a field goal?
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Yeah, okay. I'm just very tired of that. Very tired of that. Write this down. Write this one down. North Carolina in the men's basketball tournament will make the Final Four.
Wow.
Ton of slander. I feel like play-in teams do get in. North Carolina is going to become possessed. North Carolina is going to be on a mission now. They blew out Brian Dutcher's San Diego team, San Diego State, last night. They are now going to make a run to the Final Four.
Yeah, that's bold. I mean, they were. Was it that West Virginia governor or whatever? Who was that guy that came out and said
they've gotten
an injustice
crucified
of the highest degree or something?
They're getting crucified now because their AD, I think, is in charge of the selection committee, and he's like, I recuse myself. I don't even know what talks went on, and they made the tournament over like 2 or 3 teams that people thought they shouldn't have. So I think they're going to be possessed now. I think they're going on a run.
I think, but for the West Virginia guy, by the way, if you are that outraged, this is a 68-team field. And you know what? If your team didn't get in, maybe aim to be one of the 25 best teams next year. It's not like the old, when we had the 4-team college football playoff back in the day, like the football version, the 5th team sometimes was a 1-loss team from a Power 5. It was like Baylor at 12-1 or something. If you're West Virginia in basketball and, you were 500-ish in conference, just take a deep breath.
And also, we do not need the tournament to expand.
I agree.
I don't need more teams. If anything, I'd like to go back to 64. I don't need more teams.
How could you say go back to 64 when you have a game like Alabama State last
Alabama
State, whoever the hell they played?
Go back to 64. See, I just did it again.
Write this down.
All right, I'll make some
Alabama
tourney time tournament predictions as well. Write this down. At least 3 teams seeded 12 or lower, so 12 through 16, will win their first round matchup.
Okay.
So, but at least 3 teams, 12 seeded or lower, will win their first round matchup in March Madness in the men's tournament.
Let the madness begin. Okay.
Write this down.
I'll give you this one here. I'm going to give you 3 specific double-digit seeds who are going to win in the first round as a parlay.
Ooh.
So New Mexico, I gave you that one in the Patina one. So New Mexico, VCU, and Colorado State. Nico Medved's going to have to wait at least another 48 hours to become officially the Gopher basketball head coach, because I think Colorado State's going to win at least their first game. So give me Colorado State, VCU, New Mexico, and a double-digit seed parlay to win in the first round.
If Colorado State goes on a run, is there a school out there that's trying to find a coach with more money, resources, that could come in and say, hey, that Minnesota job ain't that good. Why don't you come here? We really like you.
That is a legitimate question. There's been some rumblings that maybe the deal is already agreed upon behind the scenes and it just hasn't leaked out.
But if it's not signed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could just be like, hey, Mark Coyle, bad news, baby.
Yeah, maybe Iowa swoops in and grabs him instead. Yeah, you can still live close to your family. Just coach in Iowa instead.
The West Virginia coach is going to Indiana. And he was the top Iowa target and had been the coach at Drake. Because Iowa supposedly has the same problem as here. They don't have enough booster support to substantiate the basketball program, and so it's the dueling problem. The Hawkeyes and Gophers.
Yeah, I think we need to maybe just combine programs. Maybe that's the solution. That's what we do in high school now, right? We just let's just throw another hyphen in there and throw a couple cities together.
Royalton, Stortville, Casson, Manorville. That's a very good point.
Wouldn't have to worry about St. Thomas if we just combine the Iowa and Gopher athletic departments. Huh?
Go Tommies. Go Tommies.
All right, we're back to Zach, right, for a third and final prediction.
All right, this one's going to the Wolves just to make my way around it. So Ant, I think, is going to have to take over a little bit. Just sometimes they just kind of get distraught at the end of the games, and I can't figure out why, because they take out Conley when he's doing good stuff, and then they throw him back in with 20 seconds left. I'm like, okay, whatever. But Ant's going to take over in the playoffs. He's going to have at least 2 40-plus point games, no matter how many. I've looked through these, played 16 playoff games. He's had 4 40-pointers. I'm pretty sure most of them are against the Nuggets because they can't figure him out. But so he's a volume scorer. So if he gets hot, goes to the line, it's pretty much over.
Love it. Yeah, they do the end of game stuff. If they could even just be a little above average, whatever their baseline is to get them to all these clutch time games or these leads that they blow, it's kind of the next evolution for him. We talked on Flagrant Howls this week. He went to the lab and figured out a mid-range game 2 years ago. Then he went to the lab and figured out how to become one of the best three-point shooters. Go to the lab and figure out end game. Go watch whoever you need to watch on film and figure out when they trap you, what do you do? Because if they can figure that out, they're going to go to the NBA Finals at some point in the next however many years. So, Zach, great work with your predictions here. Since you've got this platform, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped you get to this peak life moment?
Well, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for letting me watch all those hours and hours of SportsCenter growing up as a kid, so I could memorize all the stats and all the stuff. And don't worry, tell them about it every single day. But along with that, I'd like to thank my wife. She's up behind me here. She's at work actually right now.
Those nice pictures.
Yeah. And I'll shout out my brother Jake, because he also told me, he goes, "There's no way you'd ever get on these shows." But I'm
but look at you now.
Okay, Jake.
Yeah, Jake. You hater?
Take that.
You're next, Jake.
Yeah, Jake, come on.
Come on.
You afraid to put your prediction money where your mouth is?
He's a big
old
football guy,
Jakers?
so he'd do the purple daily.
Nice.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, Zach, great work here. Good luck with your predictions. And we'll see you again sometime.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. There he is,
Zach.
Guest listener, predictor, Zach. You're rocking that Twins shirt. You can get Twins tickets. Season's coming up here. Hopefully the weather holds when we get those home games, Dex.
Yeah, twins.com/tickets. We're getting closer and closer to opening day, which is going to be an absolute blast. And don't miss that home opener. April 3rd, first 10,000 fans score a City Connect beanie presented by your local Northland Ford dealers. It's time, Twins territory. It's finally time for some Twins baseball. Go to twins.com to learn more.
All right, final predictions.
Write this down.
Judd.
All right. don't know if you guys saw the news. I think it came out on Sunday. Joey Gallo has been released by the White Sox. He's given up trying to hit, and he's now going to become a pitcher.
It's awesome.
I'm not joking.
Could he DH on the day, or he could hit for himself on the days that he pitches potentially.
But I don't think you want him to now. He can't hit it. He can't hit anymore. True. He's terrible at the plate. So write this down. Joey Gallo will surface as a pitcher with an independent league baseball team this summer, spring or summer. So
they'll make the league will make him go through.
So he's not going to get it. I don't think he's going to be signed by a big league organization. But I do think, like back in the day, ideal St. Paul Saint, right?
Yeah.
Ideal independent league before they affiliated with the Twins, St. Paul Saint. So to write that down is Joey Gallo will be a pitcher for an independent league baseball team this spring or summer.
Hey, if the Twins are looking for some cheap pitching labor, he'll be like a minimum contract. You got to he's made a lot of money playing baseball. Let's look that up real quick. I can see if you haven't made your full living. Remember when Rick Ankiel was on rookie deals and stuff? It's I want to make some life-changing money playing baseball.
Yeah, man, was he a good pitcher before he lost it? Yep.
If you've already made life-changing money playing baseball, why would you want to put yourself through riding minor league buses and grinding out to be a pitcher? Because you love the game.
You love the game.
How much money would you guess Joey Gallo has made playing baseball?
Well, I don't know if he ever signed an extension. He had the rookie deal with Texas. He bounced around some other teams before that. I think his deal with the Twins was like a 1-year, $10 million contract. I'm going to go 50.
40.
Yeah.
He's made just a tick under.
Yeah. He doesn't.
He's made a tick under $40 million, and you're going to go ride buses in the Indies?
Well, he either loves the game of baseball or he has not managed his finances well. It's one of the two. And my guess is he loves the game of baseball.
Could be. Could be broke.
Can't give it up.
All right, Dex. Final
last one for me to make another madness one. Last year, there was only one double-digit team in the Sweet 16. It was NC State, who ended up going to the Final Four. But write this down. There will be exactly 2 double-digit teams in the Sweet 16. So no more. There'll be, and I'm going exact here, not just 1 or 3. Yep. Exactly 2 double-digit teams in the Sweet 16 this year.
Okay,
write it down.
So Patino is going to be one of them. It's going to be great. If you could right now, if you could hire Patino back or hire Nico Medved, what would you do?
I think they're both in a tough predicament because the school doesn't help you. Actually, you know what? I would have gone and hired Rick to be co-coach with his kid here. Rick is the guy he's the guy that could win here because he doesn't care about any rules, and he would tell Coyle and the administration, buzz off. I'm cheating as much as I can.
Well, St. John's is he's such an East Coast guy, New England East Coast guy.
You can't get him.
I'm saying, when he was at Iona,
yep.
Anyone in a major conference could have had him, and St. John's is a perfect spot because it's the Garden where he coached back in the day.
Totally. Yep, Big East.
But anyone could have had that dude,
yep.
And I don't know. It would have been weird too because we fired his son. So I don't
know.
No,
but I'm saying, so when did he when the Louisville thing blew up and he supposedly had all of these skeletons because oh my God, he was cheating. Richard was still here, right?
Yes.
I'm saying, okay, Rick gets fired. You're like Richard. How about we extend a lifeline?
Instead of your dad going to Greek and coaching in the Greek professional, he won a championship, by the way.
Yeah, of course he does, because he wins everywhere. So tell Richard, hey, you know what? You and your dad can do something special here. And then you forget all the stupid college rules. That's the thing that's why I think Coyle's most important thing, hang the damn banner up. Hang the banner up from the Final Four appearance and say, you know what? We're done with these stupid, silly rules. We're done with education. Now it's basketball time.
And you know what you could do? Just to appease, put an asterisk on the banner. Just to, hey, NCAA, just so you know, there's an asterisk.
Sort of a troll too, right?
Yeah.
Write this down.
I love that.
All right, write this down. I don't make a lot of Gopher basketball predictions here, but that's a peak moment of interest right now. Mm-hmm. Nico Medved will become coach of the Gophers, which is kind of a given. And he will take them back to the NCAA tournament in year one.
Oh!
Year one. Gonna shock the world. Gonna shock the Midwest. So, all right, those are the write that down predictions here.
Nice work.
Getting excited to just settle in for hours of college basketball games. I don't watch any regular season college basketball, but I will watch hours upon hours over the next few weeks. It's gonna be glorious.
Oh, the tournament's fantastic.
It's a great time of year. March is a great time on the sports calendar. All right, those of you write that down predictions. A little reckless speculation Thursday with our guy Dukes. Tomorrow here, Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd.